how do they help humanity? And what are the differences between archangels and ascended masters? And do each ascended masters have different roles as
Well,
well?
before you enjoy the video, if you want to go deeper with me, make sure you check out my meditation masterclass. It is unlike anything. It's pinned in the comments below.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That was a lot
Big
there, guy.
question. Sorry, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's okay.
apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So I would say that all of us at one point, at one incarnation or another, have all worked with an ascended master. Well, all of us, because there's always a couple of them here. And contrary to popular spiritual fiction, they're not always just channeled. They often keep coming back, and they're often not recognized as an ascended master during the incarnation itself. It's only a couple of hundred years after, as we kind of look back and get some space and look at the body of work of that being, and we then say, oh, well, that was obviously an ascended master. So most of us have worked with one or more ascended masters. And then sometimes we have some we work better with. Just like you were talking about these energies that you're opening yourself up to, Beth, and some of them are, we'll say, gentle and loving and kind, and others are like, let's get cracking here, right? So we all work with those that we get the best results from. So it will just depend. This is the age. What I can tell you is that this is the age of the being that we call Saint Germain. Now, Saint Germain is also known as Master R. So the higher self, and that is also, and that's one incarnation of an ascended master. That same higher self that's been projecting aspects that was Saint Germain was also Merlin, was also Moses, was also Plato, Gilgamesh, Amelia Earhart, Francis Bacon, the true authors of the Shakespearean plays, and more and more and more. And I actually list them all in the new book. So right now, the energy of Master R, or the energy of Saint Germain, is quite prevalent. And so that being keeps incarnating over and over again. Now, I think where this gets confusing for people is that those different incarnations, and we're just using Saint Germain because the age, the age that we're in, he really is the embodiment, and he really is the captain of the changes that are taking place. It takes an army, but he's kind of like the captain, if that makes sense. So we misunderstand, and we think that it's the exact same soul that was Plato, that was Moses, that was Joseph, father of Christ, that was Francis Bacon. It's the exact same soul reincarnated. That is not accurate. My direct experience is the higher self that's projecting all of those incarnations of that specific ascended master are coming. I know it's my fist, but just think that it's the higher self. All those incarnations are coming from that same source point. And all the ascended masters are the same way. So in other words, Buddha, the being that we know as Buddha, was also Thoth, was also Hermes Trismegistus. And so those are different incarnations. It's not the same soul showing up and over again. It's a projection from the same higher self. So that's kind of how that works. They're always around. So some of these other incarnations, like Saint Germain or Christ or Buddha, that specific incarnation, they are not incarnate right now. So we can work with them. And this is some of the things that's happening for you, Guy, and others as well, because you are raising your frequency and you're opening up more of yourself. Remember, God is within your consciousness. So all of these beings are actually, as weird as it sounds, that they're part of you. It's all one thing. As you open yourself up and raise your frequency, you're coming into, it's all one multidimensional self. It's all God, right? Except for the ascended masters. But so as you're opening yourself up more, you're recognizing more of yourself. And as you recognize more of yourself, you're recognizing more of these exalted beings, and they start showing up. Now, and then I'll stop. Some of those beings still keep incarnating. So it's not like, well, now that one incarnation of Saint Germain, he is not incarnate right now. He was incarnate. But the higher self that projects pieces of itself. There have been other incarnations from that same higher self that was Saint Germain, and Amelia Earhart is one example.
Wow. Wow. So people anyone listening to this podcast will be clearly on the path, and open to the conversation that we're having for sure. How would you advise somebody to start to work with or access or allow this information in on a personal level? Because surely you can use it to help guide you moving forward on our own evolution as well. Because at the end of the day, if we're evolving ourselves, which in turn will evolve humanity and all move forward, then it's a win-win for everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? And that's the entire point. For those that are desirous of working with an ascended master, my suggestion is that start to avail yourself of some of these exalted beings. And we named a few: Paramahansa Yogananda, Saint Germain, Buddha, Christ, El Morya, who was King Arthur, by the way, who was also Akbar the Great, who was also Sri Yukteswar, the guru to Paramahansa Yogananda. So as we start to, we can even just look them up, look up ascended masters, and then start to read their name. Start to familiarize yourself with them. I guarantee, as we do this, one or two, possibly three, but one or two, there's going to be some kind of resonance there. There's going to be something, and maybe it's Christ or maybe it's Saint, doesn't matter. But then once you do that, you recognize most likely who you've worked with before. And at that point, when you go within, you can ask to rekindle that relationship. And that's actually how it's just, because it's going to be, as you are just explaining, as you're going further within yourself and raising your frequency, you're coming in contact. That's always how it works. If we can remove the idea of going outside of ourself, it doesn't work that way. I know it seems that way. I absolutely know it seems that way, but that is absolutely an illusion as well. So as we go more within, we raise our frequency, we start to experience more of the self, and it is then that we call upon Christ, Buddha, El Morya, Saint Germain, and we will be able to, just as you do, we will be able to begin to feel the rekindling. We'll feel the energies. And that's how we can start to refamiliarize ourselves and start to work with, once again, these true timeless teachers of humanity.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. I need to do that more as well, become more familiar with the different ascended masters and kind of just bring it into your awareness, right? That it's around you.
Yeah, it's around us and it's part of us. And the most important thing I want people to understand about the ascended masters is that they continue to endlessly send their love and wisdom and compassion to humanity. They have never, ever, quote unquote, walked away. And as I said, some of them are incarnate right now, and most of us won't recognize one of these beings until well after the incarnation, but they're always, always spreading their love and their wisdom to everyone.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I have put together 3 meditation bundles for the first time ever. I've never made any of these recorded meditations available for purchase. Now, depending upon what it is that you desire to achieve, you'll be able to choose whatever bundle most suits what you desire. I suggest you can actually get all 3, and I'll include 2 bonus meditations that no one has ever heard. Click on the pinned comment below.